What's up everyone, it's Adam from Life of Adam. Came back with a brand new lifeguarding video. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how to save a spinal victim as a pool lifeguard. This will be step by step according to the American Red Cross, but a lot of the lifeguard certifications are very similar, so let's dive right into it. Now, before I dive into this, if you guys are new to the channel, I make a bunch of tip videos about passing the course, passing the swim test, being good on the job, basically everything you need to know. So definitely consider subscribing and liking the video to show your support to the channel. Now, when it comes to a spinal rescue, most of the time you will see it happen in front of you. It could be someone diving into the water and hitting the bottom. It could be someone slipping and falling and hitting their head on the side. Most of the time you will see an impact with their head and neck. And so it's very easy to tell, like, okay, this person has a spinal injury and we have to treat this a certain way. But sometimes they will just be passive in the water with their head down and they'll be floating, where you should treat it as a spinal injury as well. So it's very important to get as much information as you can before your approach and before your entry. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to activate the emergency action plan. The emergency action plan will mainly be in the form of 3 whistles, or maybe like 2, or maybe 1 super long whistle, depending on your facility. But basically what that will do, it'll alert all the other lifeguards that there's an emergency that's taking place. 911 will be called, the pool will be emptied, and basically this gets everyone, including backup lifeguards, ready to go to help out on whatever type of situation this is. Now, spinal injuries are a lot easier when you have multiple lifeguards with you. If you are a solo lifeguard and you have to deal with a spinal injury, you need to be very aggressive in terms of getting people to help you out. It could be normal people going to the pool for a day, patrons, visitors of a country club, whatever it is. You need to say, hey sir with the blue shorts, I need you to get me that backboard right over there. Or hey ma'am, I need you to call 911. You have to do this because when you're a solo lifeguard, it's very difficult to do all these steps by yourself. So anyone that can help you out will make this a lot easier. Now, number 2 is the entry/approach and also the stabilization. One of the most important things that you have to deal with when dealing with a spinal injury is to make sure that you're not like making too many waves and jumping in the water and causing too much commotion. So the required entry is a slide-in approach because you want to minimize the vibrations and minimize any type of movement that could kind of misalign their spine. You'll also want to make sure that you're approaching the victim from either the side or head first, because what you're trying to do is keep their body in line and stabilize the head and neck without turning them, twisting them, or bring them in a direction that's not natural to where the body already is. Last note about point number 2, you want to make sure that the victim's face is above the water. So if they're face down, stabilize the head and neck and then turn them over. If they're already face up, just make sure they're fully above the water so they can breathe. Now, point number 3 is breathing/backboard. You want to check to make sure the victim is still breathing. If they are not breathing, or let's say they don't have a pulse or something like that, that takes priority over the spinal injury. So you need to get them out of the water as soon as possible. You can still use the backboard, you can still extract them, and you can still stabilize the head, but just make sure that that takes priority over putting all the straps in, doing all the steps that I'll explain later, as if it was just a conditional spinal head neck injury. Ideally, like I said earlier, you want to have 3 lifeguards, 1 lifeguard at the head, 1 lifeguard at the midsection, and another lifeguard at the feet, making sure the backboard's fully underneath the victim, is centered properly, the victim's not sliding around, making sure that everything is smooth. If you are by yourself, let's say you're the only lifeguard on duty and someone helps you out and gets you the backboard, you need to stabilize the head and neck using kind of like an armpit method of kind of using this as like a clasp and holding the neck and getting the backboard underneath them. You can use people to help you out, so don't be afraid to say, hey, I need you to jump in and help me. They will most likely do it if it's a serious injury, especially if it's in the shallow end and they can stand up. Most of the time people will volunteer, but just know if you are a solo lifeguard, there's this very rare skill that not a lot of certification classes teach you because it's a very rare circumstance of you using your armpit to stabilize the head and get the backboard underneath the victim. So just keep that in mind. Use people's help because that's way easier. Now, point number 4, the last step into making a spinal injury save, is the removal and the monitoring/reporting. The removal is very important. There's straps that you need to put on the victim. Make sure that you strap the head last. You do not want to strap the head first and then have the backboard pop out and slip, and then their head is locked in and their body's moving to the side. That's not what you want to do. Make sure that someone's stabilizing the head at all times. Put the chest strap on, then like the hip, and then the lower section, and then you put the pads on for the head and neck. And as soon as they're secure, then you can extract them out of the water. So that's a very important step because sometimes people will assume just to stabilize the head and put the pads on right away. when everything gets messed up, they're no longer in line and stabilized, and that can make the injury even worse. Once the victim's out of the water, the hard part is done. It's really just monitoring them until EMS arrives, and obviously documenting the incident, because this is a serious injury and this is a big time emergency. So you have to make sure that everything is documented via an incident report or whatever type of documentation your facility requires. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Comment down below if you have any questions, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much. Peace out.